Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Mondays with Mindy. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Mindy. Welcome back, everybody.
Today's episode features a conversation with my friend, a writer, media personality, a bon vivant, and famed window designer of Barney's, New York. May it rest in peace. Simon Doonan. Oh, I'm just tickled he said yes, Christian. Simon hails from Reading, England, and after completing university, headed to London and dressed windows at Netter's of Savile Row. Invited to dress the windows of the infamous Maxfield here in Los Angeles, Simon moved stateside in 1978. He then joined Barney's New York staff and moved east in 1986. In addition to his remarkable work, breathtaking work at Barney's, he wrote a column on style for Slate and also for the New York Observer. He still contributes to what he calls random scribblings for the Daily Beast, Harper's Bazaar, Glamour, and his regular column for Slate entitled Notes from the Fashion Apocalypse. Simon has won every fashion award on earth, including the coveted and amazing CFDA award. In 2009, he was invited by President and Mrs. Obama to decorate the White House for the holidays. Simon is always writing something. He is quite prolific and has authored over 9 titles, including Beautiful People, Gay Men Don't Get Fat, Eccentric Glamour, Asylum, Soccer Style, The Magic and Madness, Drag, The Complete Story, and his most recent, How to Be Yourself, Life-Changing Advice from a Reckless Contrarian. Cannot wait to get my copy. A TV comedy series based on Beautiful People aired here and across the pond. Simon has also appeared on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, America's Next Top Model, VH1, Bravo, and of course, Gossip Girl. Mm-hmm. He's about to start shooting season 3 of NBC's Making It, where he is a judge alongside Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman. Simon and his husband, ceramist designer Jonathan Adler, and their rescue dog Foxy, divide their time between their fabulous homes in Manhattan and Shelter Island. Wow. I mean, can we roll out the red carpet? Let's go.
We need to at the very least. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited to welcome to the show, Simon Doonan. Welcome, sir.
How are you? Thank you for having me.
We're quite well, thank you.
So
I
excited.
love being called sir. I get madam most of the time. So sir, especially at the airport going through security, I get madam all the time. It used to be miss, and now I'm older, so I get madam.
My gosh.
It's the facial hair.
Yes.
No, I grew the facial hair because my dad said to me, everyone thinks you're a woman, you know, because I would get good morning, miss, good morning, madam. And my dad actually said to me, you need to grow a beard because everyone thinks you're a woman. It was the only advice he's ever given me. And I did. And I still get good morning, madam, even with
well, because, you know, newsflash, as you age as a female, I have full Billy Goat. So not helping you, my darling. So welcome to you, my preciousness. As we we start each episode. Do you recognize this little baby?
Yes, thank you for your patronage.
You're welcome. Christian and I came up with 20 questions. We ask 5 randomly, and then we do a deep dive into creative process and all things religious like that. So, Simon Doonan, did where you grew up or who you grew up with help develop your creative aesthetic?
100%. Like, I grew up in a very chaotic, unconventional household with a lot of interesting characters, some of whom was quite severely mentally ill, like my schizophrenic grandmother and my uncle who also had issues. I could go on, but yes, but I realize in retrospect that that's 100% why I then approach everything else in an unconventional way, looking for new ways to do things, which, you know, I went into retail, which is relatively conventional, but I approached everything I was doing. Like other people had tidy windows, I did messy windows, blah, 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 blah. So I felt very sort of marginal, but it actually had a big impact on my creativity. Don't you approach your work that way? I'm sure.
All the time, as much as I can. I mean, I'm a pretty conventional girl, and yet inside lives a flaming punk rocker. I mean, people don't believe me, but really, I am a punk with a face like a 90-year-old bubby. I don't know. What do you splurge on, Simon?
I splurge on Gucci. Gucci bag. I still have that addiction that I had in the 60s to gotta have something new, gotta have, like, it doesn't matter if it's cheap or whatever, just right. I like to buy clothes. I don't buy a lot. I just buy, if I see something I want and I snag it.
Yes, I too am kind of obsessed with goods. I just like goods.
You were the first person I knew to take the word goods and use it. Like people used to say items.
Yes.
Say items too. Like those old-fashioned advertising words, items, goods. You have repopularized goods single-handedly.
Oh my gosh. Why, thank you. I hope to reinvigorate Pocketbook as well. Trendsetter that I am. Do you have a hidden talent that you want to share?
Let me think, what are my talents? I used to sew my own clothes. I can draw fairly reasonably to communicate ideas. Let's see.
I don't think I've ever seen your drawings, or
they're nothing worth writing home about. But I'm quite sporty. I think that would surprise people.
Are you really?
Oh, very. I'm très sportif. I am a great shot. I can hit a rock with a stone from miles away. And
bravo!
I love sports. I watch nonstop European soccer games. I wrote a book about soccer. So I am an enigma. I'm a city of contrasts.
Well, I do have to say,
city of contrasts.
I do have to say, when you told me, I thought you were joking at first. I mean, the soccer book is relatively newish, not your most recent, as we'll get into, but I was shocked. I thought you were being cheeky, but you actually are a true fan.
I think I bought this jacket because Marcus Rashford, who plays for Man United, had one. And I thought, okay, he's 19, he's 6'3", and he's gorgeous, but I could still have the same jacket even though I'm Ruth Gordon,
Oh my gosh. You just made like my reference. So this is why I'm madly in love with you. Okay, whatever. What is the best advice you've been given and who gave it? Should memory serve?
Never give or ask for advice. I think that's pretty good advice. Let me think. That's not very helpful. Simon.
You don't have to be helpful. Just be.
Oh, I know. Show up 10 minutes early and leave 10 minutes late, Basic things.
Nice.
Very useful.
Nice.
Get there early and get your lashes on, and you'll just be a little more ahead of the game. The person rushing into the room always is the one who's just,
Yes.
Flustered and sweating.
Yes. Thank you, Christian.
Yes. Last question. If you could have dinner with anyone and sit across from them and have a conversation, who would it be?
It would be you, Geraldine Page, Cloris Leachman, and Ruth Gordon at Chasen's. Obviously, we'd have to get in a time machine.
First of all, I literally could have a little proper weep right now. This is why I have fallen head over heels in love with Simon Doonan since we've met. Because he remembers everything that I say. Those are my 3 mentors, by the way. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? I have to tell you, especially in this time of being alone I have thought so much of Jerry and what she would be doing during this time, how she would fill her days, because she was not good at being alone.
Aww.
I'd like to have a dinner. Oh my gosh, that touched my heart so much. Oh my gosh. So there we go.
Aww.
Now we know everything we have to know about you through our fabulous questions.
I'm glad you sort of always carry the flag for her, because she's kind of underappreciated, but so incredible. Interiors, can we talk?
I mean, how many other people, not just actors, are sort of just like 20 or 30 decades in, so forgotten. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
yes, she was incredible. interiors was maddening.
There's that one movie where she's a post office employee and they come to New York for a conference, and it's called like It's Sweet, Lovely. It's got a banal title. It's very hard to remember. Dear Heart.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you pulled that out. Oh,
I was
that's
just trying
fantastic.
to look it up. I'm like, what is that?
No. It was
and it has a song, amazing. Dear Heart.
Yes.
That is a very poignant, sophisticated movie.
Yes. But by the way, aspirational that she didn't win her Oscars till she was in her 70s. So
yeah, I
have time. By the way, if you were to have a theme song right now, what would it be?
Let's think.
Yeah, think for a moment on that.
Something Rihanna, I love Shut Up and Drive or something like that.
Yes.
That feels very apropos.
Yeah. She's I love her toughness. And somebody said to her, "You're such a role model." And she said, "Oh, I'm not a role model, honey." And I think she had, a blunt on the go at the time.
Yeah.
Like she's there's a toughness there that I love, and she's just incredible.
So besides Rihanna, who is inspiring you right now? Who is your current obsession?
Well, I'm reading this book, and it's the memoirs of Jane Birkin, her journal and diary that she kept when she was married to John Barry, the composer.
Yes.
With Goldfinger and all those songs.
Oh, yes.
And then she left him because he was kind of gnarly for Serge Gainsbourg. So the Serge Gainsbourg. So then while I'm reading this book, I'm listening to Serge on my
oh my gosh, how dreamy.
Yeah, so Serge is inspiring me right now. His songs are so mental.
Well, and her life is so inspirational. Talk about
it's crazy. Like she has the life I thought I should have. Like 1 minute I'm dancing at the ad lib with Roman Polanski. Next minute I'm lensing with Romy Schneider and Alain Delon and blah, 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 blah. Like, and then she meets Antonioni and he puts her in a movie with David Hemmings. I thought that was,
Well, it's the definition of serendipitous, truly.
Yeah.
It's one of those lives that you just go, you can write it, truly.
Totals. And she carried that basket everywhere, with stuff falling out of it. And the guy who owned Hermes saw her on a plane struggling with this basket. And that's when he made the Birkin bag. But she says that they never gave her one, which is, I think, I don't know.
Do you believe that, though? I think she had one.
Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got lost in the post.
Yes. So, yeah, right.
Her book's called The Monkey Diaries, and it's, so just for your listeners, Monkey Diaries, because she had this soft toy, like a little teddy bear thing that she called Monkey, and she would talk to it and blah, blah, blah.
Thank you for that. Lessons with Simon.
We'll link it up in the show notes for all of our listeners too.
Yes, of course. So, I don't know if you know this. So Christian and I kind of created this out of the only thing that was really missing for me emotionally during these last 5 months was connecting with other creatives. It's how I get my juice. And so we wanted to talk to the ones that I love and adore and admire. So having said that, I know this sounds really lofty, but your creative process, as you define that, what is it? How do you get inspired? What do you do? Do you sit at your desk every day? I want from the mundane to the ridiculous of how you would define your creative process.
Well, my creative process is very sort of programmatic, because the great thing about designing windows is that they change all the time. You have to keep coming up with ideas. And like when I started in display, windows often changed every week. So you really had to have your shit together. And then, of course,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I worked at Maxfield, I did like hundreds and hundreds of windows because they were changing all the time. So you had to have your ducks in a row. And the result was some of the windows are just appalling. I look at old pictures of windows I did and I think, how did I get my green card based on this? And then then others are just really great, and you think, oh yeah, that was directional and that hit the. So it's very prolific. It's like paper towels. You're tearing them off, throwing them out. So it stops you getting too constipated. You don't get too attached to anything. You don't get too anal retentive about anything. So it was a good training for, you sometimes. At Barney's, we would work really hard on a particular idea, a huge paper mache head of Liberace or something, and get it in the window, and you'd go outside to look and check the lighting. People would be like, ugh, that is so awful. Like, you get immediate brutal feedback. So you become inured to what other people think. You focus on what you think. And so it's a very good multi-decade training doing windows to just keep it loose, keep coming up with ideas, always have a folder of extra ideas. And I always did that with my writing. When I segued into writing, I was like 48 or something. I kept the same kind of easy breezy, try it, see how it works. If it's crappy, ditch it. So I never got that pain that I see some people I know who write, and they get really in a cul-de-sac of agony about everything, and I never had that. I was always enjoying the process.
You brought to the writing, it sounds like, the same kind of temperament and discipline that you did with because you are prolific. I mean, you are always writing something or researching something. I find it really admirable. I'm a little envious of it, I have to say. I just don't have the bandwidth to do that copious amount of research that you do. And then you are unceasingly, you're constantly writing. Am I wrong?
I'm Barbara Cartland.
Yes, you are.
Except I don't take them to my secretary while I'm wearing an osprey feather hat. I actually do bang myself. But Johnny said to me, "What? Hang on. So you've got one coming out this October and one in January." I'm like, Barbara Cartland. They just proud Mary keeps on rolling. Because I had a corporate job for all those decades, and I was used to getting up at 5, going to the gym, being at work by 8:30. I did that for years, and then leaving at 9 because that's when the downtown store closed. So I was very used to being busy. So when I didn't have that anymore, I put all that energy into writing. So I'm always noodling around with ideas on my computer, and I do enjoy it. I don't get blocked. And my husband's a very good editor. I've had very good editors for the different books I've done. And if they say something's like, nah, then I don't care. I have no ego about it. So,
but they are, your topics are so varied. I mean, so that's, I guess, where my curiosity comes from. I mean, are you just walking along and boom, I must attack soccer?
Oh, yes. Well, I think you're like that too. You're interested in many different things. I met you at a NASCAR meet. Hello. So you and
That's the weirdest thing in the world.
But I can't even picture either of you at a NASCAR.
But honestly, Christian, one of the best days of my life, because it was so, talk about contrary to everything that I am or what I want to be about. It was a kick in the pants.
I would agree.
Anyway, back to you. About that, though, I mean, yes, I am like that, but I also don't have the discipline or the constitution, really, to just sit there and really just the work ethic, probably. Where does that come from? Were you born with that kind of work ethic?
I think because I'm an immigrant, and I always thought, if I don't get my together and work and produce, who's going to pay my bills? Nobody. So I had that working class thing, when I was 16, I got a job in a bottle top factory. My mom was like, hello, I've scored you a job at the bottle top factory, like it was at Vogue or something. You know how kids, their parents pull some strings and get them into NBC or something. My mom pulled some strings and got me into the bottle top factory. So I was always like, she was like, men are supposed to provide, very old fashioned. So
yes. But still at some point you had something in you that, I mean, you went into fashion. And you ended up in Savile Row. I mean, that's not nothing.
Yeah, but I was always kind of in retail, which is, a great catch-all. I feel bad for kids now because retail used to be a great place to hang while you figured out something else, or a great place to work really hard and claw your way to the middle. So now I can't make that recommendation to people because retail is sort of in a state of collapse.
I think about that a lot with Granny Rose and Saks, right? There is no way for a girl to have a career like that, or a boy.
Where did Auntie Mame go when she lost everything? Macy's roller skates, selling roller skates in Macy's. So it was always a great safety net. Like, you look nice, you're busy all day if you're lucky. And it's like a reasonably bearable, tolerable place to be. And then there's opportunities. It was very hierarchical. So I started off as a trimmer, then you could become a senior trimmer, then you could become a manager, then you could it was great. Like, I think the movie industry was probably like that. The grips and isn't it quite hierarchical? You can
same ADs and become directors. And I mean, it was to grow in the industry that you love. Yeah, no more. Or just... I don't even know the equivalent now of what someone would do like that.
Well, when people ask me for advice a lot, so I had to pivot when retail, telling them retail is their big opportunity when they're all closing. So I said to them, well, now I think there are certain aspects of your presentation that you can really control. Like you can, no matter who you are or where you are or what you can always be enthusiastic. It goes a long way. Being enthusiastic, just being optimistic and enthusiastic. And even if you're a deeply pessimistic person, fake it. That's something you can fake. So as these young kids
it's a lost art. Truly. It's a lost art with this just terminal honesty that everyone has about how they're feeling is really just so uninteresting, Just put a smile on it, would ya? Sometimes,
well, for younger people now, they're entering the workplace and they're going to be competing for these entry-level jobs. And if you're the kid who's very optimistic without seeming insane and and very enthusiastic, I think that can give you an edge, even if you're not, Azzedine Elia with scissors. You can be optimistic and enthusiastic, and also learn about the company you're interviewing for. So instead of telling them how incredible you are and you flew in from another planet of superiority and gorgeousness, tell them that, I've always wanted to work at Fredericks of Hollywood or whatever the company is.
Right.
And why and unpack
fascination. Yes.
Listen, it's my dream. What you guys do is incredible. So those are my advice now. I don't give the retail advice anymore because it seems a bit like I've, a bit tone deaf to give that advice now.
Yes. I think it's radical at this point. Truly and needed. So what do you do for fun? What do you do to unplug from this schedule that you so diligently follow?
Well, on lockdown.
Yes. What have you guys been doing?
We're out on Shelter Island, and I do some writing, some work, and then I go for a bike ride, a paddleboard, a walking. Like, we're right on Peconic Bay, so I can plop my paddleboard in and just go sailing off and look at the ospreys hunting in the water, and with the seals, not in our neighborhood.
Amazing.
Like it's like a paradise. So no complaints for me about lockdown. We're sort of sequestered in this house where we always wanted to spend more time. We're always like, Sunday night, we have to schlep back to the city. No, we're here since March, so.
Yeah, is there any moves to go back into the city anytime soon?
We'll see,
Yes. All right, well, I'll catch you there. And you're coming.
What about you?
Wait, you're coming west. I am going to work here, gratefully. Got employed in doing a feature. We start work September 17th.
Hello.
So by the time this episode launches, I will probably be finished and in New York having a visit in October. And then you're coming west to do third season, no?
Apparently, yes. So very excited about that. But before that, my book launches. Should I hold one up?
Would you hold it up? Because I wanted to talk about that. I was going to mention.
Wait, Simon.
We'll let him get the book first.
Simon, right? There's a surprise and you're walking away.
I'm so unprofessional.
No, so wait, put that down for one moment.
We wanted to let you know that.
Sit back and listen.
Right.
This episode of Mondays with Mindy is sponsored by Simon Doonan's newest book, just released, How to Be Yourself, Life-Changing Advice from a Reckless Contrarian. Available wherever fine books are sold in person and online. Disenchanted with social media distracts us from the present moment, Simon implores us to put down our phones and thoughtfully reconnect with ourselves. He walks us through every aspect of our lives, from how to dress, how we socialize, love, work, decorate our homes, and interact with our family. In the words of Amy Poehler, Simon's book is, quote, a cheeky, kind, and vibrant look at what it takes to shape your one beautiful and wild life. So pick up a copy. We will have links to it on mondayswithmindy.com so you can grab a copy and read it today. Now,
did you wake up this morning and think you were going to be a sponsor? Did you wake up this morning and think, I'm going to sponsor something today?
Oh my God, that was like Cal Worthington and his dog Spot.
Buy a Ford, buy a book. Now hold up the book if you want to.
Boulevard.
I'll show everybody what a beautiful book looks like.
Yes, I'm so excited to get my copy.
Love it.
Yeah,
incredible.
Very excited.
I love the cover
thank you,
design,
darling.
too.
So also, by the time this episode launches, the book will be out. We will make sure of that. So we'll be all current. Having said that, so you got a green light from NBC that you're coming west to shoot season 3. They're going, whatever you're going to have to go through.
Yes.
You guys are going to do it.
Apparently October, obviously these things get revised these days, but it seems like we're on for October to shoot season 3. So
I think you will. Things have ramped up and started, which is very exciting. We're all kind of thrilled on this coast.
Yeah, the energy is back in that department, and it's just about porta potties, face shields. It's all happening.
Doing your own makeup. There is no thing as touch-ups. So that was a little bit of a horror show for me. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, I need a professional.
Your makeup looks incredible. It looks really good. How long did it take?
No, this is 2 minutes because this is actually just really good skincare and good genes from Granny Rose. But thank you.
Oh, to Granny Rose. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Oh my gosh. Cheers. I'm actually going to drink to that. So not to put a downer on this delightful conversation, but I also think what I like to hear about as sort of inspiration, especially during this time when I've had some blue periods, just like Picasso, is give me one or two what you would classify as a failure, or we can put in another word for that, that happened to you that actually turned out to be a good thing or a better thing.
I've had lots of those. Like, I think
Simon, no, you have not.
Well,
have you really?
Oh yeah, especially window things that didn't work, and you have to pull them out and blah blah blah. And then when I did my book, Beautiful People, it was originally titled Nasty, because the concept was you only remember all the really horrible things. That was my thesis at the time. Like, it's hard to remember when you're running through a field of daisies with the butterfly net and all that white broderie anglais. You just really don't remember that. But if you tread in dog poo in new shoes, you always remember. You'll never forget that. So that was the thesis. So it was called Nasty, but it was a series of recollections that were jarring recollections. And so I thought, this book's quite good, and people said to me, it's really good, and da 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 da. And then it just was like, it was trash. It didn't do anything. And then John Plowman, who produced Little Britain, Ab Fab, all these incredible shows, he called me up and said, I just read your book and it's so great and I want to make a TV show out of it. So
amazing.
He did, and it was called Beautiful People, and he changed the title, and then I changed the title of the book and it got republished. But what I learned from that was how I was crushed by it being like a complete fizzle, and because it was about me, so it felt very personal. Like, and the Times wrote something about it being foppish and superficial. So I wrote a whole column about how great it was to be foppish and superficial, and I'd spent my whole life being foppish and superficial. I think I interviewed Mickey, Michael Musto, Boy George.
Oh my God, I love it.
About why they love being foppish and superficial. I sort of turned the tables on the old grey lady on that This was a while
Genius.
ago, obviously.
No, still,
So,
bravo.
like, making lemonade out of lemons, and then the John Plowman thing. So
Yeah.
even if that hadn't happened, I would still have regarded it as a learning experience, because if you put yourself out there, you have to learn to deal with that kind of thudding rejection.
You do
You know.
have the pick yourself up by your bootstraps mentality that has sort of never left you, even with all of your success and praise and awards and all of that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty resilient. Like,
You are.
yeah, like, Barney's closed this year, and that was kind of painful. I've been there since
Major.
1985, so it's like
Yeah.
35 years or something. So it was painful, but then, kind of life goes on, and I'm very glad I was there when I was there during this sort of peak of, especially the 90s, was amazing. Jean-Paul Gaultier,
Yes.
Alaya, Yoji Yamamoto, Romeo Gilles, Lacroix, Sweetie Lacroix, like it was
My
a great
favorite.
period. So, I think, oh, well, it was an amazing run. And I think I'm a stayer. I'd probably still be at the Bottle Top Factory if, somebody hadn't kicked me in the ass. So, forced me to rethink everything. And of course, I feel bad for all my colleagues who lost their jobs. And
Yes, we were talking about that. It's like I think about the 54-year-old woman who's been there for 30 years as well, who's living paycheck to paycheck. Where does she go?
100%.
Yeah.
Especially
And
then it was bad enough that it closed, and then into an era where retail was essentially being disrupted.
Yes, I know. And at the same time, this Nordstrom store opens up on the west side, Columbus Circle. It was just sort of like, it's so random, and apparently it's doing. I mean, it's staying.
Yeah. They plan to open it up. When they did, they plan it 3 or 4 years ahead of time.
Right.
These things get their own momentum, and Proud Mary has to just figure it out.
Well, I have to tell you, it's been one of the delights of my life to call you a friend, and to have you in my life for the next 50 years, we hope, we think, whatever. And thank you so much. I adore
you. You are a force for good in the world. You are a life-enhancing force, tour de force of fabulosity.
Bring it, sister, bring it. And I cannot wait to dine with you when you come west. And I will hit you up if I go east and you are there. And I am so excited that all of our listeners and viewers who do not know Simon, which is appalling to even think about, but you now understand why this is the most delicious, breathtakingly talented person, and run and get his new book. Thank you, my darling.
Thank you.
Yes, all my best, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Simon, for your help. Once again, to our listeners, check out MondaysWithMindy.com. There will be links to his new book there, as well as all of his past books, other innings that you can check him out. Follow this gentleman. He's got a lot of interesting things to say, great stories to tell, as you've heard. And we wish you the best, Simon. Thank you for joining us once again. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Doonan.
Thank you. Yay. Thank you.